I let my girlfriend's dinner dates pay for both of our meals without either of them realizing I was sitting 3 tables away, 3 years together, and she'd been talking about Marchetti's on Elm for months, the little Italian place with the brick oven she'd tried to get a table at twice before and got turned away both times. I finally landed a reservation for a Thursday, planning to surprise her after work. No big announcement, just show up and walk her in. She'd mentioned a team dinner that same night, some work thing with people from her floor, and neither of us caught the overlap until it was already too late to move my reservation without losing the table. Getting that reservation cost me more than the deposit. I skipped a work trip to Denver that would put an extra $600 in my pocket for the week, just so I'd be around to plan the surprise properly. I dropped my Thursday night golf league, because Thursdays were supposed to be hers now. I'd been setting aside $40 a week for 10 weeks straight in an envelope in my sock drawer. $400 total, just for this one dinner, because we'd agreed early on that date nights were something we protected, no matter what else came up that week. $400 sat folded in that envelope in my pocket that night. It's close enough to what showed up on a check I never expected to be paying. I got seated near the back, around 7:15, a booth with a decent line of sight to the door, and ordered a glass of the house red while I waited on a table confirmation text that never came. At 7:40, the front door opened and she walked in laughing at something, her coat still on, and the man behind her pulled out her chair before she'd even reached for it, his hand resting on her shoulder a second longer than a coworker's hand needs to rest. I kept my menu open in front of me, thumb stalled over the dessert page without turning it, watching the two of them settle in 3 tables over. When the waiter came by their table, the man ordered her a glass of Pinot without asking what she wanted first, the exact one she always gets, and she didn't correct him or seem surprised he already knew he knew. I sat with that a long minute, my own drink untouched, working through what it would cost me to do anything about it right then. The deposit on the table was already gone either way. My mother had the dog for the night, expecting me home late from a nice dinner, not a scene. If I did something now, there'd be no undoing it once it started. I flagged down my own waiter, a guy named Marcus based on his name tag, and asked quietly if he could find out the total on the table across the room and combine it with mine. No explanation given beyond a folded 20 pressed into his hand for the trouble. He didn't ask questions. He walked off toward their table, said something to their waiter near the kitchen door, and came back 4 minutes later with both checks stapled together. Their total came to $168. Mine ran another $42. I handed over my card, watched Marcus run it at the little stand by the bar, and signed the slip at exactly 8:52 according to the clock above the register. Marcus glanced back toward their table once while he processed it, then looked at me for a second like he wanted to say something and decided against it. I stood up, left no trace of myself behind, and walked out the front door at 8:56, just as I saw her date reach into his jacket for his card and go still, staring down at a receipt that already read paid. She got home around 10:30. I was already on the couch with the TV low, and I asked how the team dinner went. Easy, like any other night. She said it went fine, same as always. Kicked off her shoes by the door the way she does every night. I asked if anyone new was on the team lately, and she went still for a second, setting her purse down slow on the counter before she looked at me. Work has been so much lately, you don't even know. Everyone's been pulling extra hours, and Dennis just gets it in a way nobody else at that office does. It wasn't anything, it was just dinner. People go to dinner. You're acting like I did something wrong when I'm just trying to survive my job. If you've got a problem with who I sit next to at a work dinner, that's on you to work through, not me. I didn't raise my voice or stand up off the couch. I just told her the Pinot was a nice touch, and that the bill came to $168 even, and watched her face change when she understood what I meant by that. That's on you to work through, not me, I said back to her, using her own words, and picked her remote back up like the conversation was already finished. I got up, grabbed my keys off the hook by the door, and told her I was going to get the dog from my mother's house before it got too late.